There's still too many animals living in this building here. There was bats again in here the other night. Sometimes a bird gets trapped in here. Uh, and that's a shame because they don't get back out, usually. Just the way the windows are set up, the skylights, it confuses them. And sometimes they get really tired, and I can capture them. And it's easier in other buildings, much easier. But in this building, it's staying there impossible. Oh, I'm loving walking around so much, especially in the mornings and evenings. Tonight is an absolutely perfect, stellar evening. Now in late March 2022, there's a little breeze this evening, which is nice. There usually isn't much of one, but yeah, I guess in the evenings when the sun goes down, I guess with that there's a change in temperature. That makes sense. That's one more reason to recapture all the trails that I got and make it so people can actually use all these different natural spaces right here, many of which I've worked on for years. And yeah, baby. This is the black deck. And for now, what this should be is a place with movable metal chairs that are white. Why are they white? So you can see them in the dark better. In fact, and that's why I started this video, actually. I forgot why I started it, but then I remember now. As I watch the light going down, and I know that suddenly it will get dark, and a little bit more suddenly than at higher latitudes even. I think the angle that the sun goes down at is steeper here, even though we have more daylight hours. We're at 19 degrees latitude here, which is a really good latitude to be at. It's a very, very pleasant latitude at this elevation. So, anyway, metal chairs and fire pit. That's what it is. The fire pit should be movable. It should be in an object, and there could then be more than one. It's tempting for now just to make a fire right there and burn up those boxes. But there's a rule that we can't burn anything just anywhere. And I want all this brush cleared out around here. I want all this replanted and the way we use this land different. I want to maybe have it be mobile so we can put it in closer to the building here and be more wind protected. So I'm just worried about things. But this is a great place. And never before have I thought about developing so many different fire locations. I think in many cases I have to have a truckload of sand delivered to ideal fire locations and then see if I want another one. I just need to learn that. I've never done that. I've always gotten sand for making cement and concrete mixes. Hi, honey. Why do you look weird? Are you okay? You're acting kind of... No, we're not going to town, baby. She thinks we're going to town. We are not. Anyway, oh yeah, the fire pit thing. So not having had people here for a while, I've kind of slacked off on thinking about that. But I've been thinking lately about places that aren't level to walk on that should be, places that wouldn't be hard to start now and start using it now, like down in Lower Alicante between here and the view. With some digging on the uphill side of the slope, we could expand the existing trail, uh, although it almost doesn't seem like it's worth the effort there because I want to just dump a bunch of crap in there and raise it up. And I'm not willing to do that with sand. I need to experiment with sand a little bit first. I have had gravel delivered. I don't like it. It's too granular, too big. It's too big, too not granular. It's wrong, evil, bad. Sand will break up in the soil easier, especially if we think about diversifying the nature of the soil here. And actually, I have a sand pit on right nearby. I need to go walk over there or have somebody else get down in there. It's a little bit steep for me right now. I got to put that on the list of things to do is check that sand pit out and see if it is a sand pit. Maybe it is one, maybe it isn't. It's not in use, which means it probably isn't a very good one. Yeah, I think the fundamental problem is the only way to get material to terrace this out is to get it from somewhere. And in some cases, I know where I want to do one thing, and that will affect another thing that would be beneficial to every use of it. And I understand why. That was weird. Because as I think about it, and it's not that I want to have all these fires going at the same time at all. I want the place to be fueled by solar. I want to cook with solar. I have all these ideas about how to heat with solar. I like to be comfortable. And with just any kind of good design at all, we can do better than that. And then with the assistance of evacuated tube solar hot water heaters, we can make large areas be a comfortable temperature. Large areas be a comfortable temperature all year long. And we can have humidity control. We can make it higher if we want, lower if we want. We can have some parts of the building one way and some parts of the other. We can have indoor waterfalls. We can have indoor malls. I mean, that is one of the nice things about, density is that you can have commercial things and quieter places and that are semi-public or, businesses, and you can have all these things be dense and be very rich. And I love the idea, for example, of having a kitchen that has built into it kind of 3 outlets that are in front of it of different types of food. And it's all fluid between them, really. It's all the same place behind the scenes because it's cranking out the food in a solar kitchen and all that. And really, if you had a big enough solar kitchen of various kinds, you could be cranking out enough food for thousands of people. And that should be the goal. Hundreds at least. Your solar kitchen, if you can't feed, well, you do what you can do. And I can't do much right now. So I'm in the category of people who are big failures of being solar cookers. I just have the one here that works well. But that'd be my question is how many people could you feed? Your chosen things you like to make, okay? You choose what you make. Although you may want to consider what people want, since that sometimes affects things, Oh, damn. It's pretty out. We're talking about fire pits. Yeah. I really love the idea of the mobile ones that we actually bring to a place and that we don't leave them in places. There are some places where I want to develop it in such a way that anyone who had firewood, which they can only get from approved locations, but in some cases it can even be free. I mean, I have a tree blocking the road over there. Fuck, I need to walk over there. Damn it. Oh, fuck, I'll do it tomorrow. Anyway, solar's got to be the big win. Any cooking we do with fires, We should do it because it's neat. We should do it to illustrate very efficient ways to cook with fire. Like have them be prime examples of the best technology. You know, not things that are mobile, things you build into a place. Because if we use the wood more efficiently, and then we're taking care of a lot of our needs for cooking with solar, and maybe these systems blend in together, so it's a solar system, solar cooking system with a wood assist. I think that's the obvious thing, and I've never seen anything like that. And so I want it to be actually really hot water coming out of evacuated tube solar hot water thingies, and then have a fire assist. And oh my God, you could boil the shit out of stuff. I guess the issue here is how big a thermos do you have, if you have a thermos at all, because that's going to extend your cooking time significantly. Because you don't just have the water in the tubes. Now you just got way less mobile. But I'm not going for mobility. I want to build these into buildings. I want this to be built into the building, where we have whole porches that are designed to just house an entire row of these solar hot water heaters. And really what I'm imagining is terracing where those can fit in where we wish them to. I don't imagine so much a huge bank of them. But if you did have a larger building that was going up a slope, for example, it was built like upon a slope with many layers, then you could actually have terraces with those evacuated tube solar hot water heaters on a terrace. And what's interesting then is you don't pump that anywhere. And this gets into property ownership and land rights and a bunch of stuff, okay? And architecture and design. But I mean, maybe you have covered walkways, and people who live above that have the right to use a section of that covered walkway for that their building is right next to, right? It's connected to it for these evacuated tube solar hot water heated things. And then any tube that is in the channel going into their building is super insulated. Like whatever the thing is that the material sciences has invented that isn't too damn expensive and isn't toxic and lasts a long time. The best insulation for, centuries, and maybe put in a channel. I don't know if it's PEX tubing that's insulated. I don't know. But you let that hot water just flow up into the building. And then you have a panel where you can just have that spigot out to wherever you like. Now, why does it spigot out? Obviously, it has to have an intake up above that's higher than the outtake you're desiring, because you're trying to get it to go up, in this case, into your building. All I'm saying is if you had that, if you did have that, if you had basically the more water you have above the place you're harvesting it from, and if that's a closed system, you don't want any leaks or anything because it'd be a messy leak, depending on how far into the building this thing's going. Hopefully not far. I mean, hopefully it's just going through, a straw bale wall, which also might be super insulated. And then it's going into tanks, and it's going into tubes that immediately get routed off different places, but it's also getting into a super hot room. In other words, we want to heat up the thermal mass of the water in the room. And that also inside the building envelope has a fire assist. So within that room, anyway, you could heat a huge building, and you can still have a fire in your great dining hall. But instead of having to burn big logs and stuff, although that does look impressive, instead of doing that, you could have a bunch of smaller fires, you know, that were more comfortable for more people to be near, and they're really for cosmetic use. They're for social use. They're for getting close to that beautiful light of the fire. I mean, isn't that when a face is the most beautiful? Is when it's lit by firelight? I don't know what your experiences in life have been, but I've seen some beautiful faces in firelight, and there's just no better light. I've been lucky. I've known some pretty girls too, who like to be around fires as well. Well, what the hell am I going to do now? I'm stuck here. I'm uploading a video. It's a beautiful time of night to walk around or just pace around like a trapped animal. This is just turning out great. I do need to change this whole space here. First of all, it's a great place for movement and a space that's open. But the problem is I also want to use it for solar cooking. I think what I have to do is move a whole bunch of shit around. That's what I have to do. Yep. But not fuck things up. It's my belief that this table needs to go that way. Wonder if I'm strong enough to do that. Sure, why not? This is so great. I do not like being damaged. It really sucks. And then the other thing is, I got lots of plants in here, and this is a really great place for plants. But if I can find other places for them that are also really great, that would be cool. Because I got this would be a great place to sit up here. This is a great place for people. Unfortunately, this is my best place for cacti as well. So, well, not if nobody waters them. Shit, I got to get out here and water these a lot. And I also got to move some of them and decide what I really want here. Damn. I got to go harvest a lemon. Oh, I'll get to that in a bit. The two fires I've thought about the most, I mean, outside fires are one thing, right? And the first places for me to develop are actually outside fires that have roofs. Anywhere that's outside that can have any kind of source of fire, including even the plant propagation area, surprisingly, should have a little stove. It should have a stove just like the terrace up here has, so that somebody can use it to cook lunch. It's been, this one up here gets used for that. I think that's a great idea. Oh, man. Nights are long, but they're getting less long. And I have more light because I'm getting used to being here. And I've got a big stack of cool books that